talk about that blue building as being haunted, and I get this creepy feeling walking across that V that you're talking about.
Yeah, so the V, I was staying in a room that faced into that V. Come on, I've got my blinker on here, people. I was staying in in one of the rooms that was within that V. Anyways, my feet were faced to the window, and I remember distinctly, I can remember as vividly today as I saw it vividly back then, that I woke up, the room was bright, lit up, all the lights were on, I don't know how or why, but I sat up and I look out my window, and there was an Indian chief in full headgear outside the window looking in at me.
Like from high up on a higher floor,
I
or
was,
you were on the first
I
floor?
was on the 7th floor.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, what's an Indian chief doing here? But it was as real to me as though there was an Indian chief outside the window looking at me.
Wow.
Full headgear, full feathers. You know what we understand a Indian chief wore?
Yeah.
That has thousands of feathers.
Yeah.
The white feathers and beads and everything. That's what it looked like, and I was like, wow, this is strange. And he was talking gibberish, saying something to me. I didn't realize or know what was going on, but anyways, that was the only time that I quote unquote saw something. In terms of ghosts, no, it was just, we all knew what that place was. It was a hospital, so life and death happen, so therefore you naturally assume that there's spirits around, and that has an impact on you.
Yeah.
And that's what I believed it was at play. And the church took advantage of it because it fed into their narrative that we know about past lives and all that, and the abilities of the advanced people, the operating thetans, the OTs. They can go on there and ask these spirits to leave. And there's no factual evidence that those even exist or that's even ability. The church just takes advantage of that belief. And again, that's what Scientology is simply a fucking belief.
What year, just so, because you're like, oh, I can speak from my experience, from what year was it that you were at the test center?
Oh, well, I was back there. I literally lived there. That's called the Hollywood Inn.
Yeah.
I lived there in 79, 80.
Okay, so this is, and then in like the blue building around the same time too?
Yeah. I was last there in 82, and that's when I went up to the ant base.
Okay.